Hi guys, it's Jet Skeptic Media here. This is such an exciting day. I swear we're going to see the Flat Earthers' first model. I heard Flat Earth British talking about it on a hangout with Doomweaver, and this is going to be history in the making. I can't wait. This is so exciting. Goldbusters have their first map, working map. This is going to blow all the skepticism away. Even me. I might even change my name to Jed Flat Earth Media. My heart's beating here. I can't wait. Let's go, guys. Let's watch this.
Oh, you heard that right. Join Awake Souls, Jason Laufenberg, and Ronnie Harris of Event Skeptic.
I can't wait. This is so exciting. Goldbusters have their first map, working map. It's
okay. The Flat Earth working map and model, macro to micro. Stars to the sun.
Will always be lined up where the north is.
Oh man, I just feel like I ate some manna.
Different grid work than this. It was just a rectangular grid work, but I forgot to adjust the angle. Timeanddate.com. It's 63 degrees. It's the sunrise angle. Was it 87 is the sunset, and
Tonight, live at 8 p.m. Central. Only on Beyond Flat Earth. And we are live. Welcome back, everyone. It is now 7/11/2018. This is your co-host, the Limitless channel, and I'm calling over to the host with the most, Awake Souls. How are you doing, brother?
doing well, brother. Doing well. A little tired today, but doing well. England's out, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it was a big upset.
Get rid of those English.
Big upset for Croatia. I still believe that all major sports are rigged. It'll probably be England's term next time, right? Or something like that. They haven't won it in 50 years, or I don't know. I don't keep up with football, British or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting that we're back. We're back so quick again today. So I've had some time to digest and go over what we went through yesterday. And if you want to start us off, Jason, you could just tell us a little bit about how you felt things went.
Actually, they went exactly the way I expected. Caleb from the Gen 6 project was a person that was supporting Adam Parable of the Vineyard, Nathan Roberts, Effed Up World, and that's the crew that we've been calling out for support. they support the fake AE map and model, and they're trying to tie it to the Bible. And so he stepped up. He said he wanted to challenge us, and I was more than happy to have him on, because all I really wanted to do was point out to everyone all the things that I see on his channel that make me believe that he's part of that same team, that same network that is ultimately out here to destroy the credibility of the Bible. And they can lie and say that they're Christians, but their actions don't support that, because they're not sticking with the path of the truth. They're being derailed and trying to derail others, and that's totally not Christian.
Well, I do feel in a way that some people might, not quite understand everything that they're seeking. Some of the key things that I picked up on was, he didn't have any debunks on us. He couldn't explain, he tried to mock us and tell us to breathe fire out of our mouths, but he misquoted scriptures, showing his lack of understanding with the Holy Scriptures. Not only that, he wasn't really able to edify us or teach us anything different than we already knew. I could tell right off from the beginning that, he had his pride, his ego was puffed up, and you were about to ask some real tough questions. And in your defense, not that you need it, but these are questions that we ask everybody out here, especially people that are making content that could be somewhat considered someone who has an audience or someone that is influencing people, because this is where the Antichrist is going to attack. So when I go back, some of his points, like he tried to say that, when we looked at this, when I showed him, just a quick recap, then we'll move on. Stats. His answer to having subterranean, mysterious hashtag Nephilim, hashtag Revelations, hashtag Geneva, realm, hashtag. So he denies us being in a simulation, but he likes to use the word realm, hybrids, Gen 6 Pro, hashtag Vatican, deceit, hashtag monsters, and underworld creatures, hashtag Yeshua. And then so he tried to say this was SEOing. Jason, what does this look like to you as someone that has been in an SEO war with me for over a year and a half now?
Well, he said it himself. That's his target audience. He's looking for the people that are interested in that kind of stuff. But what we continually see all the time is how Satanists, what they do is they externalize this information. Like if the Satanists never put the information out there and got people to look at it, to contemplate it, a typical Christian would just never be influenced by this. They're not going to see the satanic symbols. They're not going to see all that. But we have certain people that work really hard to draw everybody's attention to it, all in the name of trying to expose it. But what I see is when they're trying to expose it, they're trying to make you aware of it. They're trying to get you interested in it, trying to... So, I mean, his tags to me look like tags of what he's going to be teaching about on his channel, what he's sort of all about.
Sure. Yeah, but the way that it's my critique is this is absolutely jumbled, messed up. I don't know if he understands how comma separated values work.
Well, we don't need to teach him how to do that. He's spreading lies and disinformation.
Okay.
Let him use the bad SEO and not get any views.
Okay. That moves on to my next point. I'm trying to see, there was one video on here. So what I've noticed that people that come out to externalize the hierarchy, like you had mentioned before, they also come out and they put disinformation pieces together, like under a celestial dome, which, there might be a sphere spherical shape to the heavenly bodies as they go around us. I believe there is something like that, maybe a half dome, but not a physical dome. So I don't know exactly what he was teaching, but there was one video in particular where he was criticizing the Jesuits, and apparently there was a bunch of Jesuits on his page, and they were telling him, no, man, you got this all wrong. So what that shows me is that he could be just completely misleading people and putting up false. Like, he's got a lot of Jesuit stuff, Knights of the Templar, this Town of the Secrets, Marianism, lots and lots and lots of that. He needs to repent just like we do. We repent from our things, our sins. But he's just got a lot of Satanist stuff on his channel, and he didn't like you calling it out. He didn't like you calling out the demons that he has inside of him. And he didn't have any debunks, rebuttals, reproof. Actually, all he did was scream and yell and mock and laugh, and misquote scriptures on top of all that. So, and it's witnessed there. We want people to go back and listen to it. It might be tough to go through, but you people need to know. Jason and I, it's not about making friends out here. If you love your brother and you see them in error, you got to call it out. You got to correct them. If you don't correct them, okay, I'll give you an example. Some of the hardest lessons in my life, my mother's mother, the one who originally got me into the scriptures, and my mother, but my nan, lessons that she taught me were hard. They weren't easy. They were mean, not mean. They were, what's the word? Real truth isn't something that comes to you like sweet honey. Sometimes real truth gives you a punch in the face. It knocks you down. And then you have to, it hurts. You have to reevaluate why that person just said that. Like, for instance, another example, my dad is a really laid back kind of guy. Ran a press for like 40 years, really good at it, operating the dies and everything. My grandfather was a tool maker, but he didn't really dress up. So one Christmas, he dressed up in a suit, and I mocked him. And my grandfather, this was before I hit the gym. When I was younger, I was chubby, and I had a Leaf jersey on, hockey team. And he said, "What are you making fun of him for?" He said, "You can't play for the Leafs being that fat." And I was like, and it was the way that he went about showing me the truth. He didn't light foot around. He came right for it. And Jason, I know it's not an easy job, but I do respect you. The only thing is, I don't know if we should be calling upon hellfire yet, which you did. I have to ask if there's correction needed for that, and then that's where you would say what you think.
It's a warning. It's a warning to him. Right now, the position that he stands in, the side that he's fighting for, the people that he's surrounded with, that whole team, that whole network, they're liars and deceivers. And unless they repent, they are going to hell. That's just the way it is. That's what the scriptures tell us. And I don't know, there's some people that how there's people that you're attracted to in this world, and people that you're repelled by, like it just grinds you the wrong way. Mm-hmm. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, we definitely have that with different people.
Yeah, so just a smug character like this that thinks that he can come on and he's going to be able to manipulate scriptures to somehow hinder us from sharing the truth irks me off. And so if I deserve judgment for what I said, I'm going to get that judgment for what I said. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But no, I don't care for the guy. I think he's a liar. My guess is that he's probably a Knights Templar. He's really super proud of his royal genetic lineage and his families and his ancestry and stuff like this. It's all absolutely, completely wrong. And whatever, I don't like them.
Yeah, well, I just see a lot of misinformation on his channel, a lot of incorrect information, a lot of dome, a lot of Mount Meru, a lot of mysticism mixed in with his work. And I totally agree. I do think he's somewhat possessed by demons. I hope he repents, but we already know what team he plays for, and so there's a few things that are happening right now, that we were talking about. So he was defending this guy right here, people. This is Nathan Roberts from Your Curveless Earth. So he went to a Target, and in a show of anger and display, because he's an author of a children's book, he went there and ripped up a children's book for the publicity. If that doesn't scream absolute shill agent, get away from, I don't know what does. Jason and I, we do peaceful activism. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And that applies, to our lives. If Nathan wants to go and rip and tear up books, how is he any different than the people that did that to the Bible? It's completely against free speech, even though we don't agree with NASA and all their propaganda. Jason and I's message has always been there should always be the other choice, right? There shouldn't be one choice only. That doesn't mean you have to go and destroy everything else on the earth and burn it, because that just makes us just like them. So there's a lot of stuff going on the flat earth right now. We got Kent Hovind. We got Rob Skiba, Kent Hovind. I don't know if you saw that today, but Kent Hovind called out flat earthers because he wants to debate, and he wants to debate the map and the model, right? So 1 second.
Well, if it's possible, since we were covering the Gen 6 project, before we go into this, could I do a screen share quick?
Yes.
I just want to go to, he reposted the Hangout on his channel, and which is fine. We expect that. And so the people that we've been calling out, let's go through the comments section here. And so this Precious Metals is somebody that trolled me today, left a comment very similar to this. Oh, how dreadful those two fellows are. I am unsubscribing to their channel immediately. I honestly cannot even listen to it in its entirety because of how awful their energy is. So what I want to do is just go through some of these channels real quick and let people see who the supporters are. So this, if you look at it shows the subscriptions. We've got this Sam Hancock, which is a nameless, faceless troll channel that shows up all over the place and really is sort of driving the narrative quite a bit in a lot of ways. And you've got Christian Truthers, which is one of these names. He's on that Adam Parable of the Vineyards channel. He's got the Free Masonic Wall. Then you've got Your Curveless Earth, Nathan Roberts, who we've called out for supporting that AE map and model, and there's so much evidence that he's a Freemason. It's all over the place.
Well, I believe at least Adam and Justin, so Parable of a Vineyard and Christian Truthers are both ex-military. I think Nathan might be, but don't quote me on that. I don't want to be a liar, but I'm pretty sure I heard those two say that they were ex-Marine. Well, one was a Marine Corps. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so common thread. Then we've got D Marble. He is AE map promoter. He's the one that went to Alaska, and people are running around saying that he filmed the 24-hour sun above the horizon, but he did nothing of the sort. There is no evidence for it yet. So
yeah, the thumbnail is the sun setting, right? Set on the evidence video.
We've got D13 Watchmen. We've got Effed Up World. Somebody that we've been calling out who's linked to all this.
Rob Skiba, big Rob Skiba guys. Definitely D13 Watchmen is.
Yeah. And then, so there's even a video that this person posted. And, and we're going to see some wild tattoos on the arm. I don't know if you catch. This one's a tiger. She's got the wild tattoos. I don't know. You can flip through or whatever. But so
she unsubbed from us? Was she even subbed? I don't think she was even subbed to me. That
I hope Yeah, so that, I mean, that's just a shill tactic where they go around saying I'm unsubscribing. It's a form of witchcraft. And look at who shows up here: Joseph Goulet. Very ignorant they are, those two. And you know, Joseph is just a nameless, faceless shill troll. He hangs out
Around.
What?
He's been around. He's probably someone else that we've conversed with in the past that comes back constantly with different sock accounts. I think it's Joe, another guy that we used to know, but we don't know for sure, you know. Yeah,
and so then effed up world's in here. It says Christian simulation. Guess they are being honest with that much. They're trying to simulate Christians, but are not very good at it. So I'm taking the stab at us, but
wow.
What are we gonna find there? We'll see. Does he have? Oh, he doesn't feature channels. All right. So he's got the satanic 666 black and white rabbit painted on his wall behind him, and he's all tatted up. And this guy said he's military, right? I thought he said that.
I can't testify to that.
Who knows? Probably, maybe not. But Christian Truther, he joins in here, and look at all these points. Well done, Caleb. We knew that you would be led by the Spirit in this matter. Praise YHWH.
Led in the Spirit. The guy asked us to breathe fire and mocked us when we were sharing with him what our hearts. What? That's spirit led to mock and laugh? I don't know about that. And if he was spirit led, don't you think he would have known the scriptures that he was quoting?
This guy throws around the 666s. He's got the satanic tattoos. This guy said he's military, right?
I believe ex-military, yeah.
Yeah, he's got the Masonic brick wall. And,
but I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure I remember hearing him and Adam in a live stream talking about it.
Yeah, they can correct us if they weren't military, whatever.
Well, it is important because we do know that the military have multiple online networks where they disrupt and try to mind control people.
Mm-hmm. So this is another account, just like that Precious Metals, this AJC 1844, who's got a fair amount of subs. This person trolled me with some really bad comment. And hello, Caleb, your channel is new to me. I'm only here having listened to the interview you did with Ronnie and Jason and having been utterly disgusted by their behavior. So if we go to this channel and we take a look at the channels they support, we've got Gen 6 Project, Nathan Oakley, 1980. We've exposed him as using CGI, having a fake COINTEL debate shill echo chamber. Globebusters, somebody that's got the AE map and model here.
The Chad Taylor guy is he's a Rob Skiba mentor.
Mm-hmm. This Flat Earth Crush, the Seventh-day Truth Seeker. Interesting that Jonathan Macamidi shows up here, and Mark Sargent. All right, so this is another AE map and model shill channel. All right, it's just too obvious. And then Parable of the Vineyards shows up. Adam. He says, "Thank you for standing for the real truth of this world, brother. We don't care about who has the absolute correct map. We just needed to know we aren't on a spinning globe and live on a geocentric Earth, just like the scriptures state." And then he goes into, however, since they are the map they are proclaiming is quickly dismissed with, and then they go into the circle of the Earth thing, and this is that whole KGB specific thing that we've been calling out. That's what Nathan Roberts. That's what the Dean Oles. That's what the Rob Skibas. That's what the Robbie Davidsons. This is the kind of stuff that they promote. Now, you can take any translation of the Bible you want we know that the sun and moon aren't doing circles. Any person can go out and observe this from themselves. Right? So when you see in reality absolute obvious evidence that the sun and moon are not doing circles around a single polar point, then you go to the scripture and where it says circle the digging, and you find out that that's a bad translation, that it's circuit and
circuit of the earth.
Yeah.
It's also used in reference to a keeping of the festivals. So if you think keeping of the festivals is the circle of keeping the festivals, you're wrong. It's the circuit, as it says right there. He's got it right there. Circuit.
Yeah.
Circuit. And plus, they all hide the fact that the constantly says the sun is rising and setting. And it's circuit. He contradicts himself, Adam, in this very same message.
He does. And so Caleb's responded, "Oh, my dear brother Adam, thank you. Love you, brother." And, so it's just a love fest between these people that are promoting lies and disinformation. And I don't know, it's just NASA lies. 7 subscribers. Yeah, they got nothing. Just a shill channel. And Lisa Dunn's got 26 subscribers. Check out Lisa. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there's some subscriptions. She Who Fears YHWH. Seen that recently. Richie from Boston. So he's got some bad subscriptions. These people are either misled or they're part of a shill network. Now this Shalong Gaggins Fourth is this is one of the most evil, vile people.
Yeah, look at that. Look at this. The third sentence.
Psych tactics?
No, the third sentence. So excellent, brother. You stood strong, and then.
Oh yeah, they are about making Christians look bad.
Question yourself. That's a super bad advice. Never question yourself. Never search your spirit. Always think everything that comes to your mind is truth. Don't question yourself, brother. This guy, he's a super shill. We know that with the Trump and the Israeli flag. Super
shill. It really, really dirty, nasty. And of course, this guy gets a hearted comment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just a love fest between these people. This Shalong is super evil. This is probably one of the most wicked people I have come across on YouTube. That says a lot.
You can keep going.
Now we've got Your Curveless Earth, Nathan Roberts. Bro, great job. These 2 clowns couldn't make their way out of a paper bag, let alone have the understanding of the Holy Spirit. Ronnie and Jason are the blind leading the blind. You got Joseph Goulet coming in saying absolutely spot on with that, brother.
Even though none of them could debate or debunk anything, not one thing that we said. See, here's my challenge. Well, you know what? It's not even really worth it. But if one of these people could actually point out a timestamp below the video, either on this one or on Jason's, point out where he corrected us or where we were wrong or where we misspoke, please. Instead of just bantering and putting up fake, false, and the very fact, every single thing that he said, "Oh, I've spent an hour with Nathan. I know Nathan's not a shill." You spent an hour on a Skype hangout and you think you know somebody? This is the thing. These people are very naive, or they're very, very purposely doing what they're doing. One or the other,
Well, and you know me, when I look at all the evidences and I see what a person continues to do, I do take that and compile like a profile of the person, and I see who they support. I see who supports them, I see what they talk about, what their truths are, and I see what their lies and what their deception are. And when I've seen enough evidence, I don't hold any punches. I just come out and say it. I told this guy I think he's a Satanist. I still think that. In fact, having seen the comments on his video and who's there supporting him and who he's supporting, I think they all are. I really do.
Yeah. Only time's going to tell. Like I said, out of everything that happened, I thought he made an absolute fool of himself. He couldn't come up with one thing. He didn't have any correct scriptures. He tried to laugh at us. And who's to say that God doesn't empower us and we are the two witnesses? Who's to say? Is he the one that's going to say it? Is he had any? The guy didn't have any rebuttal over anything. I'm glad he shared it on his channel, because in the end, it's just going to show that he couldn't take any questioning, any controversy. He was there to condemn us for the way we acted when he was acting the exact same way, if not worse, as he was telling us not to be.
Yeah.
Like I said, the evidence stands for itself. Any of those people could debunk, challenge. All they'll say is, we don't need to have the exact map, but we're going to tie this broken one to the Bible. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry.
I keep saying over and over, none of this is personal. It's not personal. I don't know Caleb. I don't know Nathan Roberts. I'm just out here fighting for the truth, and I know that they are the ones that are promoting lies and deception.
Yes, I'm with you on that, brother. And we're never going to stop calling it out. Adam of the Parable of the Vineyard should have come and spoke for himself. We've been speaking with this man for over a year now, and because we called out things that happened, the Rob Skiba and the impossible map model, and the fact that they were defaming Moses' tabernacle tent layout and putting the only thing that he told Moses not to replicate, there's Rob Skiba putting a circus tent around it to support an AE map model with a dome over it. I would like any of these scriptural guys to show me where it says dome in the Bible, and not the new, the one that Zen Garcia uses. They've got some twisted translation where it says vaulted dome. I want Hebrew, ancient Aramaic. You can give me ancient Greek, whatever you want. You're going to show me where it says there's a dome in the sky, okay? All of you guys pushing the dome, including Gen 6, including your curveless earth. Now, I guess, Adam, show me where it says dome, and go through that video and show me one time where I spoke incorrectly, where I wasn't speaking the truth, where I lied. I didn't. There wasn't one time. But so we'll move on past that now. And like I said to Caleb, I pray that the blood of YaHaWashi washes over him and convicts him of his sins like it does me. So here's the narrative. We've got Rob Skiba, we've got Kent Hovind. They're throwing all this stuff back and forth. And I just want to point something out really obvious to people. This is how mind control works. So Jason and I were watching some rig sports when we were done what we were doing today. We caught a bit of the upset that Croatia put on to England. So I would see a flash. It would say Coke, and then all the game. They had a partition that lit up, and it said Coke all the way around. And then one said McDonald's delivers, and then it went all the way around. And after 15 minutes of the game, I was like, oh, because I don't eat McDonald's. I haven't for a long time. I said, geez, that really works. I really feel like having McDonald's. So what I want people to understand is once the New World Order, or once the satanic system gets something in your mind control, it's impossible to burn it out. So we've got these two guys that are, now three guys, Kent Hovind, Robert Sangenius, and Rob Skiba, all talking about having a debate over whether the earth is flat or a ball. And the very guy who wants to go and fight and defend the flat earth is constantly, there's a globe earth right here, testing the globe. This doesn't say proving the flat earth. It says testing the globe, and he's got a globe. So my point is that mind control works this way. The agents come out with misinformation, and they do it through mimetic means. This is a type of witchcraft. Why does Rob Skiba, in every one of his clips on his radio show, he's got the supposed almost AE map, but again, there's another globe, and his own logo has a globe in it. Now he's taken the two skulls that he had behind him down, and now he's got a stereo there, which is thumbs up for me. Shouldn't really have, you know, Nephilim skulls and all that stuff. That's super, super satanic. But again, the globe. What globe? What's with all this globes? Like, this is actually how the mind control works. They tell you the earth is flat. Well, they show you a globe. Okay, so then we had we're going to get into this, but Rich with Mr. Thrive and Survive put out a video. Let me see if I got it here. Titled it's that he's going back to the globe, right? I don't know if I have it in my recent history. But so he's going back to the globe, it says. And if you watch the video, it's kind of funny. You know, he's actually, it was a lie. So the title and the thumbnail was a lie. He was pretending to go back to the globe, and he was promoting really bad evidence to support the globe Earth, pretending that it was, you know, flat earthers. And so again, this seems to be a trend here. Now we've got this guy, Jake the A-hole. He came out and kind of tried to piggyback on us debunking the YaHaWaH model. I guess that was his tap. That was his game, was to now I'm going to, you know, promote that the model's wrong, which was great. You know, he had a couple of good videos about it. But all along, I had a thought in mind that he might be going to do what a few other flat earthers that I know, John LeBon, Matrix Decode. So what they do is when they realize that the YaHaWaH model doesn't work, they instantly go back to a globe, right? So I didn't know if this was what he was going to pull, but yes, Flat Earth A-hole is now thinking that he lives on a ball inside of a ball. So I guess it could be virtually infinite ball theory.
Like the Russian dolls, right?
Yeah, infinite Russian doll theory. So
yeah, that David Weiss will like that. He'll put it to some great music, and then he'll he'll say that we're at the center Earth and we have to work our way out through the different balls to get out to the real
Operation Fishbowl. Right. And so he's come out, Jake the A-hole has come out and said that he believes we live on a ball inside of another ball. Right here, this is a thumbnail of a concave Earth, which all along Jason and I thought the Globebusters was going to pull. But the ball inside the other ball, that is a Vatican Robert Sunginius. That's his game. This Rob Skiba debate is between Robert Sunginius, who is a Vatican priest, I believe, astrologer or whatever it is. And this guy, Kent Hovind, was the one who debunked evolution, supposedly. He did a good job back like 15, 20 years ago, before the internet, really. So he wants to debate the YaHaWaH model. Rob Skiba says, I'm too busy to debate the YaHaWaH model. I'll debate you on the Bible. But Kent Hovind already admitted that there isn't one single scripture that supports a heliocentric spinning ball model. He said that the Bible doesn't talk about computers, he said. Right? Mm-hmm. So why would it talk about the reality and the shape of the world that we live on, right? So I see, agent against agent against agent. So Rob Skiba was on that prophecy club. He traveled the world. He is a known actor. And right now he's right in the middle of actually creating a television series. If the bells aren't going off about Rob Skiba, it gets even better. He's actually been caught faking evidence for the Chicago skyline footage, and the actual picture itself was a painting, right? That they said was a picture taken with a camera that had a 200 millimeter focal length. What was it?
They just said that about the focal length. It's a painting that they used.
They took a picture of the painting with a 200 millimeter camera. That's what I said, so that they weren't lying.
200 millimeter zoom would actually be too much of a zoom. You would have to be standing super far away from the painting because 200 millimeter is a decent zoom. It's way more than what most people have. It's a lot of zoom.
So you got Robert Sunginius, is also the author and the director and creator of the Vatican promoted The Principle movie and documentary that came out right with Flat Earth. And the Vatican Jesuit theory is that we live on a ball and we're at the center of the universe and everything spins around us. even though we all know and everybody knows that it's flat. But this is what we have: agent against agent against agent. Nobody's telling the truth. Nobody's seeking the map or one that actually works, right? They want to, say that, your map needs some sort of a teleporting device. Well, it doesn't. The way that the time works is it takes 24 hours for the sun to traverse its course from the east to the west. Then it rises again. And it does this until YaHaWashi stops it, right? It's ridiculous. Anyone can debunk and debate any of these guys. Robertson Genius is a simple to debunk. The fact that he believes we live on a globe, there's way too much evidence that the earth is flat. We could go on for hours about that. So that's one guy gone. Kent Hovind still thinks he lives in a heliocentric globe spinning model. Absolute shill. And he sells tickets. He's got a church that is / dinosaur exhibit. So he's got all this faked evidence that the Masons do. Hey, Jason, if we were Masons, man, we could dig up in the backyard, right? We could get a couple sculptors to come over, and we could have them sculpt us out some bones, and we'll bury them. We'll put the sod down, and then we'll film it. We'll dig it up. We'll discover it. We'll put some tents out back. We'll start our own. Like, this is what we see out in the world, people. You have to keep your eyes open for people that are selling you lies.
Well, if we wanted to become rich, it'd be so super easy. We just sell our souls to the devil and join the Freemasons or the Knights Templars or the Rosicrucians or whatever. And then we come up with our hoax, some sort of, faked thing. And then we start promoting it. And then all the Freemasons and Knights Templars and stuff will support it. And then we'll get the tricked sheeple to come pay for it. And, we'll just make money off of our hoax. That's what they do. It's
limitless what you can invent in your mind to fool people. But we don't, because we're honest and we don't tell lies. Now, so you've got the controlled, you got Nate, you got Rob Skiba, Kent Hovind, you got all these guys, and you got this guy out here. He's promoting that his Bible says flat earth. So if he could show me, I do know where there are some scriptures that talk about the earth being a plane. The earth is likened to a field, right? And they haven't, in my opinion, mistranslated it. But I'll bet you if we went back in the lexicon, I bet you there would be a way to find where it might say flat earth. But this guy doesn't have a scripture that says the Bible says flat earth. It would be on everybody's video. Now, it does state in the scriptures that the earth is fixed and immovable, right? And that the sun and the moon travel around it. Now, when I say that, I mean, the yin yang symbol works like this, people. It doesn't work like this. Okay. This is another misnomer. It actually works like this, right?
I don't think we're, there. Oh, I see.
Because people get it mistaken. I'll stop the screen share like this. That's not how it works. The yin yang, the divider between the yin yang is the horizon. And everything circles this way. And it's also in ancient Chinese history, what they taught was that the earth was the horizon and the sun and the moon and the stars circled around it the opposite way. And this is the way that we actually visualize the stars in the sky. We don't see the stars like this. We see them like this when we look into the night sky, right? There's tons of things that we can do to test, but I'm sort of just rambling. I was just getting at a few things, but
Well, you had Nathan Roberts up there, and so in some recent video of his, he just exposed Kent Hovind with doing the 666 Freemason sign, and which is something that Nathan's been doing all along. So what we're seeing are these fake fights within Freemasonry, within the Jesuits, within the Knights Templars, where they fake fight with each other, even though they're all on the same team. It's like WWE. They pretend when they're in the ring, and then afterwards, it's all love and hugs to each other.
So to add to that, where else do we see that in the world? Well, there's a couple names for it. You could call it the left versus the right, the Republicans versus the Democrats. You could call it casino rules. Now, casino rules, all the gamblers, they compete against each other to make money for the casino. But as soon as a player that's good comes in, you know, they all gang up on you. So what happens is they have their infighting. Kent promotes Rob. Rob promotes Kent. Nathan promotes them all. Adam of the Parable promotes this guy. And as soon as someone like Jason or I that aren't on the team that are saying, whoa, whoa, you guys got some serious mistakes here. Let's take a look at this. As soon as we come in, we're instantly hated. We're instantly called liars and deceivers and agents and shills and Satanists. And this is probably part of the reason why we act the way we do. We call them out for a reason because they're not teaching us anything. There's no scriptures that prove there's a dome. The sun and the moon do not circle. Now, what I want everyone to know is that this man here, Kent Hovind, he wants to debate the map and model, the AE map. And these guys can't do it. So what this guy does, it says he's too busy. He's working on his book. How could you be too busy to defend God's word? Jason and I aren't turning down any debates. We've been asking everybody to debate. Gen 6 Project was the only one that stood up, and he made a fool of himself. He didn't know the scriptures. I had to tell him he was coming to question whether or not we were the two witnesses. He didn't even know the actual scriptures that was. You know, he didn't prepare for anything. They're all promoting this guy who's been promoting lies and deception, and we've covered it. All you got to do is type in Rob Skiba on our channels. Do you want me to move on?
Well, I was just going to say, in a real debate, what we had with Caleb was not a debate. It was a challenge that we addressed. He didn't really question any of the truths that we stand on. He questioned the way we approach it. In a real debate, the 4 truths that we stand on are that Earth is flat, that the great deception is heliocentrism, that the AE map and model is wrong. So right away, we can eliminate almost everybody on Earth with Earth is flat. And so unless if they can prove to us that we're on a spinning ball, we win that one. And then with the AE map and model, we've shown all the evidences that it doesn't work, but in a debate, we don't have to prove anything on point 2. Somebody actually has to come in and prove point 2 in order to make us wrong, because we're saying that the AE map and model is wrong, that it doesn't exist, that
we can show that.
It's a non-reality. We can show it, but we don't have to. It's the burden of proof is on the person that says that something exists. They have to show us the evidence that it does. They have to show us how the sun rises and how the sun sets, how the angles work and all that. They have to show us the dome. They have to show us the ice wall, and they have the burden of proof is on them to show that the AE map and model doesn't work. So first, we eliminated all the globe believers. Second, we eliminated all the flat earthers that promote the AE map and model. And then the third point is that we're in a simulation, and we have tons and tons of evidence to show people that we really, in fact, are in some sort of simulation or realm. We've been doing it all along. And then the last one is that the creator of this world is the God of the Bible, and that his true name is YaHaWaH, and when he manifests in this world, it was YaHaWashi. So with those 4 truths, you and I stand alone right now. Now, hopefully people come try to debate and debunk us on those points, and once they realize that they can't, they'll stand on those truths as well and share them with others. That's what we're going to continue to do, is just continue to share these truths, and hopefully we find some people out there that are avid truth seekers that have done the research and realize that the things that we're saying are true, and they share it as well.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said. So yeah, okay, let's go on to the next subject. We do have a couple questions. Someone asked you earlier, how far do you think the sun is? You want to just throw that out there?
Yeah, I said it's based on elevation, and so it's generally 3 to 20 miles. So if you were like imagine a desert island, just a little hump of sand out in the middle of the ocean, where it's just like 1 inch above the water, and you're out there, you're looking to the horizon, you see the clouds around you. Well, the sky is going to meet the water for like a 6 foot tall person. Observer height of the eyes at 6 feet at about 3 miles. And so that is the place where the sun is coming up and down. You can see it. You can see it during sunrise and sunset, pass through cloud layers, and you can actually see clouds behind the sun, clouds behind the moon. And so yeah, that's now if you're up higher, if you're in a tall building, like a skyscraper or something, now all of a sudden your circle of sight's gonna be much larger than a person that's at ground level, and now you're probably looking at maybe about 20 miles. I mean, however far it is, you can see from that building. That's going to be where the sun rises and the sun sets, and at that greater distance from the higher elevation, it might be a lot harder to see clouds behind the sun, because now your camera, if you're using something like a P900, it's such a greater distance that it's probably going to be blurred out. It's going to be, a lot of graininess to it and waviness to it. That's what we see happen at a distance, is that the resolution drops and it becomes wavy, and that becomes the end of our circle of sight. So Ronnie and I have been saying for a long time, one of the key things, so as a globe earth believer, you've imagined the sun, moon, and stars to be millions of miles away, these light years. And so then when we first learned about flat earth and we learned the AE map and model, we were told that it's circling and about 3,000 miles high. And what people, you don't see 3,000 miles. Not a single one of you has ever seen 3,000 miles, ever. Do your own research and figure out what the farthest you have ever seen is. And I will be surprised to find out that any one of you out there listening to this has seen more than 50 or 60 miles ever. And that's considering something that's a huge object, like a mountain, and maybe from an elevated position as well. So we cannot see that far.
Well, everything breaks down to pixels, right? At a very close range, regardless of our altitude. Because we went through that research when I actually flew down to Austin. I was trying to observe from 30,000 feet, but the problem was I could only see similar to like a cone shape, and everything would just haze out. So I couldn't really make any features out. It is a super interesting point.
That's what happens. It just blurs out.
And that happens on the microscopic level as well. And that's why George Smoot, a scientist that, I don't trust science, but he seems to think we live in a simulation. And his evidence was that when we try to discover it, it becomes hazy and gray. We can't. If we lived in a physical reality that was constant with the laws of nature, it would be super easy to pinpoint. But the fact is, whenever we do these types of observations, they're always super, super sketched out. Like we could see clouds behind the sun, right? It's clear. It's not hard to see. You can see it with your bare eye, and with the P900 even better, right? We teach multiple things. There's been emojis added to the King James Bible. There's been all kinds of lewd and changes where it said 2 women shall be at the mill grinding grain. Now it just says 2 women shall be grinding. There's been a lot of definite changes, lying signs and wonders, and there's been so many things that have been taking place that match with actual prophecies and scriptures being fulfilled. This is part of the reasons why we've been led to step up and ask for the position of the 2 witnesses, and this is why we are. So continuing with truth, I want to jump through to, we've been calling out all along that Math Powerland was a shill. when I first came into the movement back in 2014, he was saying that flat Earth will never go on TV. It'll never be made mainstream. It'll always be a, you know, off mainstream, you know, group where only truth prevails. It's documented in my channel. Now, this is going to shock everybody if you haven't seen this. But are you ready?
Yeah.
Have you seen this yet, brother? No?
No.
Okay, great. And I definitely don't endorse the words that Jake says, the swearing, the vulgarness. I'd like for anyone to, you know, pull up. You know, the last time I remember really swearing on the internet was when I was really, really upset with Jaron when he was denying. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I hadn't slept that much the night before. I was super tired, and this guy wanted to debate me. And I did lose it. But other than that, I keep my words clean because I care about the words that I speak. Right. So, like I said, Jake is a different kind of guy. I think he's an agent in the show as well. But here he's been constantly working with this Math Powerland guy, tit for tat. Matt has a shirt that says photo painting. He's got a shirt that says like homeless tweaker shelter or a NASA thing. You know, they copy each other, right?
Matt has said that he is a Jesuit and that he infiltrated Hollywood. So these words did come out of his mouth.
So again, like like Rob Skiba, Dean Odell was an actor and he was in Die Hard. There's so many of them, right? These actors, it's, you know, anyone on the outside is going to be asking, hey, why are all these like actors supposedly out here? So this is going to blow your mind. This is because the documentary was made where he supposedly didn't get his conditions met. But I remember seeing in the documentary that they did screen share a clip where it said that Math Powerland, all, you know, registered, and it said is an artist and a painter. They screen shared all of his conditions in the documentary. Keep that in mind, people. They kept all his demands. They just did it in a subtle way that you have to actually go through the documentary and you can pick out where they shared each piece of information that he had set forth in his agreement. They met them, right? This is the hoax that he's pulling on. They met the agreement. They weren't going to put him in the video unless they met the requirement.
He probably got paid just like he asked as well.
Well, if it goes on Netflix, and that's another thing too. I guess I took that Nathan Roberts picture down. Rob Skiba, Nathan Roberts, Kent Hovind. These people are collecting thousands and thousands of dollars and selling books with misinformation in it, mind you. Jason and I have never had. We had a experiment that we were going to do. We had people donate to buy hoses. We were going to refund the money when we were done the experiment, when we returned the hoses. But we ended up, we were $2,000 short of the $6,000 goal. So we gave all the money. We're taking a penny from anyone on channels monetized. We don't believe that you could sell the truth. Selling the scriptures and profiting off of it is satanic. Right? That's why YaHaWashi cleared the money changers. They made the temple a place for thieves, right? That's what these people are.
Well, we can crowdfund research projects together, but it has to be done in an absolutely transparent way where the investors of the experiment, the people that are putting forth their money, get to see what it is that they're paying for and be a part of the process. You know, be involved in it, be a worker in it, be a person that promotes and shares it. Those things would be fantastic. But what we see are, you know, channels like Jaronism and stuff that collect the funds. There's no transparency. It's done deceptively, and every single one of his experiments has failed. Every single one.
Oh, go figure, right? I turned my ad block off. Everything's monetized on Nathan's channel. Oh yeah, you know what we never talked about was he's running sightseeing tours for the Flat Earth for $60 a person, right? This guy Nathan.
Yeah, show people what that is. It's absolutely ridiculous.
That said, I think it's a smart way. If I was a Satanist, right, and I wanted to make money off the Flat Earth, this is exactly what I would do, right? I would try to get as many types of tours and experiments that you can come and pay me to do as possible. But you know, he does it super sloppy. He doesn't have a proper camera. Let's try and find this so I can get you guys the real information. He shares it a bunch of times, right? He also shares this where a Satanist, Wint James, is promoting him as Jesus clearing the money table and the money launderers, which is an absolute garbage video. Where is this? Is this it right here? $100,000 challenge?
Well, his Flat Earth Doctrine website has the tours where you can.
Why doesn't he have the website linked here? Does he need someone to show him how to do that? It's just in your, in your channel section. It shouldn't have been in one of his videos. Does he not have it listed where he's taking people for tours? I guess not. I'll try and find his website another way. If he wanted to share this more, but I know he does a lot of work on Facebook, right? Oh yeah, here's his website. That's all he shares. It was probably in the first video. My bad, people. So the Bible says flat Earth, but he doesn't have a scripture that says the Bible says flat Earth. Here's his book. Again, look what we see here. Go figure. He's got a globe in the picture.
He's got a globe. He's got the heliocentric model with stars out in outer space, and
the false dialectic, the false dichotomy, the AEMAP model. These are both wrong, people. This is the Jesuits, the Masons, the Jesuits, the Masons, the Jesuits. They just fight both ways, and neither of them can prove anything. Where's his experiment? And then he's got, a bunch of people saying that his book is gray. I'd like to see the scripture that says the earth is flat. I don't see his. Does he have a link to his experiment page? Wasn't it called Flat Earth Events? Maybe it's here. Globe Trolls. Wow.
Try events. There's tours.
Tours. That's what he's calling it. /tours. FlatEarthDoctrine.com/tours. / Look, we're giving them advertising, people. So if you live in the Myrtle Beach, area or somewhere, there's the both of them again, the globe and the AEMAP, both wrong. If you want to perform a test for curvature over water, then Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is one of the best locations. You can perform the test without this. However, if you want to help a pro, so he's calling himself a pro, and are not ready to make the investment.
All caps pro.
He's a pro. He's willing to do it for $60 a person. And the price of the video is extra. So my advice to him is, if he really wants to prove the earth is flat, well, he can't really because of the curve. You need 3 miles of beach and a really long hose and a water pump and 3 posts. And you can bury them in the sand, you can wet the sand down, pack it down, run the water hose along the edge here where the water is, and then measure up, see where the 2 level points are 3 miles apart. That's how you prove flat earth. So the thing is, he's going to take you out there and he's going to show you this picture. He's going to say, you shouldn't be able to see this from here, which is true. This is a flat earth proof. But there's a large section of the building missing. There's a Ferris wheel that he loves to point out with a large section of it missing. And he does not know how to explain that. So when someone says, see, there's the proof of the curvature, I don't see the whole Ferris wheel.
Yep. He can't get involved in that without bringing in the guys
refraction
from the Nathan Oakley crew that are going to tell you that this is an optical slant, looming, parabolic, Faraday effect.
Yes, he's a Christian. He's got these 2 girls in bikinis that look young, right? He's all giddy about it. They say, "Oh, I see it. They just happen to come over and talk to him. He's a big man with a camera, right? Absolutely disgusting. Sorry, that could have been my daughter, right? I want this guy putting my daughter on YouTube. No class. This guy is an absolute snake. So here it is again. So the reason why we can't see the bottoms of the buildings is due to the distance to the horizon. So at the ocean level, It's 3 miles to your horizon. So any building or object beyond that 3 mile point will start to be obscured due to the fact that it's past your horizon line, which is in the center of your visual perspective. Now, if you rise in elevation from that very spot, you will see more and more of the building until you can see the entire thing, depending on altitude or depending on how close you are to the building. If you move closer, you're going to see more and more of the bottom of the building. Okay, and this is the most simple flat earth proof in the world. It debunks everything that the globe earthers try to throw at us, but not one of these flat earthers will use it or even try to understand it. So that's just what upsets me about these guys, because they get debunked with their own evidence when it's so simple to find out the truth. They don't want to know the truth.
I see it differently. And I think that these people do know the truth and that they're actively working to hide it and spread lies and disinformation. But that's the difference between you and I. You and I are not the exact same people. We keep each other in check. But when I see these types of coordinated efforts, I don't think it's an accident. I don't think they're misled. We came to Nathan as a brother. We did the Matthew 28 principle, and we talked to him in private. We asked him to come on a hangout. We didn't attack him. We just shared our truths that we've been sharing this whole time, that the AE map and model is impossible. And obviously he didn't want to hear it. He's still promoting it. In fact, he got belligerent and said, I'm going to teach it to children too now.
Oh, that's how he responded. And it's okay, because the rest of the flat earth are actually saying now that, the rest of the COINTEL, the rest of the agents that are set up, is a perfect segue. The rest of them that are set up are now saying that the Earth's a ball because the AE map doesn't work. Instead of actually doing the research and taking the time to come to a working, correct map that has no distortions, even at the poles, on a flat two-dimensional surface, which we have done, this is what you're going to get. This is gonna blow your mind, brother. Keep in mind, warning for language. Jake is and math as well, as they're a bit languagey.
Comedy routine. Carolyn Clark, I will sue you because you contacted me to get for me to be in.
It'll get better. It's Jake's screen share.
Oh, okay.
Your film, and I was smart enough to send you conditions because I thought you were just going to use me to make money off my likeness while you try to humiliate me and actually just manipulate the edit. Take things out of context. You're an idiot, woman. You're an idiot. I'm a comedian. It was a comedy routine that was a treatment to push a film.
It was a comedy routine that was a treatment to push a film. You hear that? He was paid to do a comedy routine that was a treatment for a film.
Then these people came in and actually fucking believed it and took it hook, line, and sinker, and then went on the web.
And then these people came in and actually fucking believed it and took it hook, line, and sinker.
You violated an artist's copyright content, thinking it was real. And this goes to prove none of you know how your globe works. None of you are educated, not just in the United States, but all of London, all of England. So how do you like that? How do you like that? Little Canadian guy said, hey, you don't fucking know how your globe works. You don't even know how gravity works, but you say the word like God. You don't even know how God works, but that's a whole other piece of fiction and another piece of work. I will be suing you because you went and took my likeness.
So again, I want to remind people that might not know, Patricia Steer, Mark Sargent have been working on a project since they started in the Flat Earth in August of 2015. Jason and I have been calling it out all along for over a year. Now, they supposedly did put math in the movie, and I believe they did actually keep most of his contract intact. They screen shared his description sections that had the what he was asking them to share. They showed it. So now he's coming out and saying that he's going to sue the creator of this documentary for everything they have because they've exposed his act as a flat earther. Right? That's what's going on here, people. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. My question to everybody is what are you going to do when the Freemasons finally pull the plug on this whole model? So it was intended as a fake model in order to be discredited. Right? That's the reason why you would use a fake model.
It's Thomas
is to be able to discredit it at some point. So what they did is they, like Matt is telling you, this was all about a TV show, a live reality show that plays out on YouTube, on the internet. And they were going to hook everybody, bring them in, promote this idea that we're on a flat earth with this fake map and model, and then pull the plug on it and say, we hoaxed you. It was a joke. We suckered you. You're a fool. And the Bible that you believe in, that's a flat earth book, discredited.
That's right.
You're an idiot. You're nothing but a conspiracy theorist nutcase, and we are going to shun you in society and mock you and ridicule you the rest of your life. And so what are you going to do, people, when they...
And that goes for all Christians, all biblical scriptures. This is what's coming. That goes for all of it. That's what their goal is. Look at this guy. He just said that God was fake and that you don't understand the ball. And all along I've been saying this guy is lying because he is showing you the mind control. He's got globes in every one of his T-shirts. Sometimes he has 6 or 7 different globes in one shot telling you that it's flat. He was never telling the truth, right? This is supposedly the guy that brought the movement back to the internet, when I'm pretty sure you can find internet posts and blog sites throughout the history of the internet and throughout time, the debate, well, at least for the last 500 years, since the Jesuit Vatican ploy to implement this. So you could call them also the synagogue of Satan.
Well, we know back in the early 1900s that there were still true biblical flat earth believers before technology was exploding, and that Einstein was brought in to deal with these guys, and because they had a problem with their heliocentric model.
With the Aries failure, they did a test with a telescope and water, and it proved that the Earth was actually stationary and that the stars themselves were moving. So they brought in Einstein, and he said it's all relative.
That's what he did. Yep. And so there was true biblical flat earth believers back then that they had to bring in. And keep in mind, Einstein was no genius. He is just a fake actor, just like Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah, television actor.
Yeah. No genius at all.
None. I know. And they just ramble on their equations into nothingness, creating things like nothing that you can't really have. And it goes on and on and on, including pi, irrational numbers, the way that they've hoaxed us with so many things. You always get half-truths. Like we're going to be getting it into the Patricia Steere article that was written in a bit. But, I heard them call out that she dressed up as Marilyn Monroe singing to Mark Happy Birthday. And the funny thing is if you were a true researcher, you would realize that it's been exposed, and the evidence, the CGI comparison, shows that Jackie Kennedy was actually playing the role of Marilyn Monroe. And she always was the same person. And you can do the internet search yourself, because we can't do everything for our subscribers. We want you guys to do the work too. Type it in. Jackie Kennedy is Marilyn Monroe. You guys are going to be shocked. Like, I'm warning you, it's going to open your eyes to things that you never knew. And this type of thing has been going on and on and on and on throughout time. And what we have online is groups of people that have multiple accounts. Some they show their face, some they use voice changing technology, some they just play videos, but they're constantly pumping lies and disinformation. And what Jason and I are going to continue to do is to call out all the lies and disinformation and push the boundaries. We're going to continue to push the boundaries. So I'm going to keep going.
I'm going to grab something to drink.
Okay.
And my art and my intellectual property, and then you used it out of context to slander me totally against the intention of my moral universe.
Your whole job was to slander and ruin Flat Earth. You haven't been good for Flat Earth ever. You know, you were vulgar, you were rude, you've done nothing but put up pornographic pictures as thumbnails. You are a sick person, Math Powerland, and I pray in YaHaWaH's blood come over you and have you repent from your wickedness. Out of love, brother, but you know, it is so easy for me to see through your lies and deception. We can see it as clear as the sun. You cannot hide from it. We know that you've been on there playing the guitar like a jerk, making noise, completely discrediting the Flat Earth. Ever since IPS went on and said he was you on national television. We don't know if that was even really live aired. As we know, there's been a few fake news broadcasts promoting Flat Earth that actually weren't aired. And I do believe there are a few that were aired and your name was said. And right from that moment, you've derailed your channel. You have no good content. We already told you that your big plan to go to Antarctica is easily debunked because on our map, you can cross Antarctica and the Earth is still flat. So what you planned on doing was going across Antarctica and then saying, well, the Earth is a ball. That was the ultimate, and still what is your goal. You still are trying to push for that. But you're in here, and this is an admittance, Jason. He was admitting that this documentary made him come out of character. He's never been a flat earther. He's been doing the flat earth comedy bit so that he could promote a sale of a movie where they cross the South Pole. And they're going to do it with 200 people and 200 film cameras and snowcats. And like, it's a serious trek supposedly down there, like huge cracks and ice that are, you know, miles down probably. It's very dangerous, but he's supposedly going to get a team of 200 together that are going to do this. And I still said it's invalid. It's irrelevant. It's a moot point because you are going to cross it in my map. You're going to come on the other side of it and it's still flat. It never curved.
Never curved. But yeah, it's a ploy against the AE map model, because the AE map model has that ice wall that, you know, if they do cross Antarctica, then that would debunk the AE map model.
There's no ice ring 60,000 miles around, right? Which we already know there isn't. But you're right. Nail on the head.
As an artist and an originator of the work, which is a violation of copyright, Mrs. Clark, I will serve you and your company. I will serve you. We will correct the navigation of this entire piece and started the greatest existential debate the world has ever known in the last 500 years based on their reality. As a hyper-realist painter who's a comedian and a performer, you went and took the work via these fakes who are all infringing and violating my copyright. That's Rob Skiba. You use my talking points, Rob Skiba. I will get at your address. I will serve you. That's Mark Sargent. You use my talking points, twist it so
this
you
is
can
the
get
script
around
he
it.
probably wrote, right? He's just calling out to his actors.
Yeah.
But you still use flat Earth. You still say that all the images of Earth are paintings. This is all my routine. This is all photo or painting. You've repackaged.
I might even go as far to say as maybe he painted the Chicago skyline.
Oh, right? That's possible. He's a painter, right? He's a painter.
Yeah. He could have painted that and set it all up right from the beginning with a dupe, right? Certainly makes sense. Still calling him out, right? Rob Skiba.
Packaged it with this guy, Joseph Reel, alias whatever his name is, that works for this company called Metatron, but has a background in Warner Brothers.
Not only that, but Mark and Pat and everybody included in the Flat Earth International Conference, Robbie Davidson, now Nathan Oakley, Dean Odell, everybody involved with that. When you went to the conference and before it, they created an app, a Flat Earth app for Mark and Patricia, and one for the Flat Earth Conference. And the app actually is a CIA type data mining software. It's they're stealing your information off your cell phone. It gives the phone they can take your pictures, they can turn your mic on, they can turn your camera on, they can go through your messages. You give them full access to your phone, and they admitted it. Don't download that app, people.
A Warner Brothers executive.
So he's saying it's his comedy routine, and Mark Sargent stole his talking points from his comedy routine and didn't get up there on his own and do that comedy routine photo or painting. He was paid to do it. Movie to the Weinstein.
Then gets together with this woman, Carolyn Clark, who claims.
And I don't completely agree with the evidence that this guy's promoting as well, connecting them to the Weinsteins. But the fact that he worked in Hollywood and all this and that, you know, it doesn't look good on him that he's out here promoting another Hollywood company, right?
No, it doesn't look good at all.
Behind the curve, but has another producer, O'Malley, behind it all along. Why would you attack a comedian who is just doing, you know, a huge challenge on eyesight, whether people know the earth is a ball? Why would you attack him? Why would you go after a crazy eccentric painter? That's my license. Because
we're not crazy, right? That's the other thing that the shills and agents and control people promote: craziness. Right? He says that his license plate says he's crazy, or whatever he just said. Crazy eccentric.
Painted the globe. I'm a painter. Remember all the stereotypes about crazy painters and the
globe.
Right? And comedians off the wall, edgy, provocative, thought-provoking. We're supposed to be the smartest people on the planet, a.k.a.
Smartest people on the planet, right? The flat earthers, smartest people on the planet. Ha, ha, ha. Right?
Oh, yeah. Like between this and that article that was written about Patricia Steer that we were reading through today, the amount of slanders against flat earthers it's unbelievable. It's just countless slanders against flat earthers, and what drives me nuts is the flat earthers. These are the people that they follow, the people that are slandering them, that are trying to mislead them. Wow.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Because the meme that gets passed around millions and millions of places all over Reddit and all of your top YouTube channels is that they say, oh, all the flat earthers met from around the globe for the Flat Earth International Conference, right? You get it, the pun there. And then he just said, we're supposed to be the flat earthers, the smartest people on the planet, right? Think about it, people.
Bruce.
And he just called it a planet. See? He didn't even say.
It's not a documentary, dummy, because what I did was a work of fiction. I am now executing copyright.
So he just said it was fictionist, right? Fiction. So everything that Math was saying, he doesn't believe in. See this? Work of fiction, people.
Did you hear that? He said, what I did was a work of fiction. And he's now executing copyright. Out of his mouth, y'all, what I did was a work of fiction. When you find out Matt was paid to do photo or painting, and now he's saying it was a work of fiction. This guy was flat earth before any of you, before me. This is a piece to the puzzle that we must take very seriously. Instead of saying, well, let's flat.
See, this is where Jake's coming in with his disinformation, right? So because this is happening, his default, we live on a globe.
Flat. That's all that matters, Jake. Flat. Yeah, well, this guy said it's flat before you did. And now he's saying.
It doesn't matter if 1,000 people said it was flat. If it's flat, it's flat. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter who says it.
This was a work of fiction, his comedy routine.
I will now serve Mark Sargent in Whitby Productions and O'Malley behind it from my content. So hit the donate button if you really want to see some fucking fireworks.
Again, with the everybody out here is out here to collect money. That's all they want. He wants us to donate to him so he can sue the people that he is in colleague with, his colleagues. He's talking about suing people that he works with, that he commonly talks about, that he shouts out their channels. He's been listing them off the entire time. If people don't know how propaganda works and mind control, you guys really need to understand through repetition and lies. George Bush said it, right? The thing with selling lies is you got to repeat it all the time, right? That's how they make it true. They just keep saying it. No matter how large the lie is, they just keep repeating it. And it's great that this guy here was coming out and saying that he's fake, which we all knew he was fake because he's a total crackpot. He's a lunatic. Acts absolute crazy. We're going to get into where they're taking that. But it's just unbelievable. Jake's going to take it because this guy's saying that now it's a ball.
Because I heard they're banning fireworks and fireworks. So hit the donate button. $5, $2, 50 cents. I don't care how broke a welfare case you are into the flat earth, consuming it like the X-Files week after.
So all the flat earthers are welfare cases, right? That's what you heard.
After week with a new stupid revelation from these fucking fakes using my talking points to be legitimate about the earth really being flat. Hit the donate button. We're going to be serving each one of them and cleaning house.
So now he's asking for donations to sue anyone who stole his comedy routine. So the donations that were supposedly going to his trip across Antarctica, now he wants donations to sue everyone who stole his comedy routine. Remember, people, he had this video up for less than an hour and then he took it down. And then he pretended none of this ever happened.
We're a comedy bit to push a channel.
So I'm just going to move on now to one more thing that Jake was saying. If you want to put any talk on that, Jason.
I don't know. It's great that when we actually have these clips where the words come out of their own mouths, it's great to just throw it out there, expose it, make sure everybody knows about this. It's no different than what we've been saying ever since we started working together.
Mm-hmm. So let's hear a little bit more.
I have to say that like Northeast and South all go around in a circle. North or East and West go around in a circle. So my question is, well, once you get to Antarctica, then every direction is considered south.
No, that's wrong. From the center point of the map, all directions out are south. When you get to Antarctica, south would be 180 degrees behind you facing north, right?
Right. You could say
south just doesn't work on the AE map and model, because if you're at the North Pole, like you said, every single direction is south. Mm-hmm. Doesn't work.
Directly underneath Australia is everywhere what would call south. And you guys like to think, I used to like to think that there were these other earth ponds that could be out there, right?
I'm glad he's exposing this. I'm trying to find where he started to say that we live on a ball instead of a ball. That's what I'm looking for.
The circle map to make sense, but the circle map doesn't friggin' make sense. Seeing the military actually work for the government. The opposite star rotation of Polaris of the Southern Cross circle.
Well, at least he got that point of evidence from us, or wherever. At least he figured it out finally. Took him a year and a half since we started sharing that with people, but hey.
The Earth is flat, but we just can't possibly understand how it works.
No, we can't understand.
What? Should we just not try anymore?
That's what this guy's doing, people. He's given up.
Just not try to figure it out? You still got guys like Dubé and Jaron and Bob, Globebusters, and all these guys still going around preaching the AE map, telling everyone it goes in a circle. I still got people on my friends list on Facebook still telling everyone sun goes in a circle, we're surrounded by an ice wall, don't try to go to the ice wall because there's guards there and the guards will shoot you. There ain't no footage of anybody trying to go to the ice wall and getting turned around. No, none of you.
It was Matt Powerland that pulled out the YaHaWaH, right? YaHaWaH, right? He was the one that supposedly was murdered or whatever. He was shot down in a boat trying to make a run to the South Pole, right? Did you hear of this?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I'm trying to find
working model. How can Earth be a globe if none of us feel any motion, none of us can detect any curvature?
That's right.
But then again, the globe can explain the Southern Cross opposite star direction better.
So can our model.
Better than the AE map.
Ours does too.
The globe can explain seeing the opposite constellations better than the AE map. So the globe, when it comes to the luminaries, actually seems to work. But then we have...
Or the luminaries are circling around our flat and level Earth.
To get over this whole concept of not being able to feel any motion, detect any motion or curvature. And so then there's these flat earthers who are getting to this part and saying, well, fuck, maybe it's concave. And then they're flipping over to guys like Lord Stephen Christ and saying we live inside the earth. There are people actually going from globe earth to flat earth, running into these problems I mentioned, and then they're going to concave earth.
Absolute lie. This guy here calls himself Jesus. He calls himself God, and his model is really easy to debunk. Super easy.
Earth. They're saying we live inside the earth like this. But then you have to say that the opposite of gravity is happening and that the oceans are stuck to the inside of a ball with some sort of compression. So isn't that just as magical as gravity to say we live on the inside of the earth and that the water is all compressed up against the sides? And then wouldn't the sun on a concave model be going up?
Yes.
At the night.
Yes, and there would be curvature, negative curvature.
At nighttime and then down in the morning, wouldn't the sun be going?
So we would see more and more of the building until we saw just the top of it. Right, people? You with me, Jay?
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean the top of the building parallel. I mean, like, the roof square. We would see it from a bird's eye view as it went up the curvature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the water would definitely all run down because we can test what water does. When you put water inside of a bowl, it runs down till it finds level. So the water would be, the bottom half of the concave earth would be totally sunk underwater.
Oh yeah, down in the morning and then up at night in a concave. So there's problems with, but one thing flat earth and concave earth can agree is that the earth is motionless and that you can't leave the earth. So there are some things in common, like concave and flat earth model. You would both be stuck inside of it. If you believe in a flat earth model with a dome that you can't leave, concave would be similar because you also wouldn't be able to.
We can't leave any of them or the simulation. There's a reason that we can't, because that part of the creation was turned off, right? There's people that are imprisoned here. This place has to burn. And this guy here has no understanding of that, right?
No, I don't think he claims to know scripture at all. And that's where we get our truth from. I mean, it's not our words that we're just promoting. We just go to the scriptures and see what the Bible has to say. And that's how we know the things that we know.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the exact spot, but he did start to say that he's thinking that the earth is a ball, right? So, and this was funny too.
See some of my observations from Salt Lake City, and so his observations, Tim's,
perfectly shows how we see. He's on Salt Lake City, and he's got a drone, and I don't know how many miles. This is like 21 miles, he says. So remember, on the ground, you can only see 3 miles. So after that 3 miles, you're going to see less and less of the building due to angular reduction and due to your height. So as he rises his drone, it perfectly backs exactly what I can draw and show you in a SketchUp program, that the Earth is flat, and when you rise up, you will actually see more of the building due to your circle of sight being increased due to your altitude. This is super simple. It's like you could set a totem pole up at the end of your street. As you walk away from that totem pole, it's not going to disappear into nothingness. It's going to slowly but surely get shorter and shorter from the ground up, due to you can only see so far, where the horizon is in the center of your vision. Right? This is super, super easy. And we debunked Tim Osman with this, and he just made fun of us, right? Ad hominem attack.
Yeah. And well, this is what so many of the fake flat earth shills are trying to do right now, is to totally muddy up this whole perspective thing, how it actually works. You have a video that explains it perfectly. If people haven't watched it, it's a must watch out of all videos regarding perspective. And we see what these fake flat earth channels are doing. They are promoting faked CGI doctored images, where they're actually literally doctoring in curvature to their evidence. So on one hand, they'll show you one thing that it seems like it's an evidence for flat earth, where we can see something farther than that we would expect. But then at the same time, somewhere else in the footage, they might have something like a windmill that they have sunk behind what would appear to be curvature that we know doesn't exist. So it's really ridiculous to me that more people aren't calling this out, because you've never seen anything like it in your life. If you've ever been at a beach and looked out over the ocean, if you've just like your everyday observations every day tell you that is doctored footage, and for you to not trust your own observations and to go to a COINTEL shill echo chamber that has footage that comes from 1 or 2 people and think that's what's happening in reality. I'm sorry, but you've been suckered into a disinformation echo chamber that is literally out there to misdirect you. And I can only assume that their entire purpose is to discredit the Bible. I don't know what other service it would have. Yeah.
And mock flat earthers and set them up for the big final crush, right? And not only that, but these flat earthers go out when conditions are most conducive for anomalies. So I know that, taking observations myself as a flat earth photographer, that sometimes you can see less of certain things of objects, because definitely a lot of the experiments are being done over oceans, and due to swells, waves, and tide, you could probably lose. I'm going to estimate, depending on how low you are to the ground, I can't put a number on it, but you could probably lose objects that are super easy to see. So now what they do is they take that observation and they try to spin it and say that it proves flat Earth, when really, because it's an anomaly due to the tide or some type of atmospheric refraction thing that's happening, they try to just shut your brain down. And whenever you see something that doesn't match what your eyes see and what you've experienced, we just hope that people have enough awareness to just say, whoa, and then try to duplicate it, or because we can call out the shills and deceivers because we've been trained. We've been working our minds daily at researching and actually doing these experiments. And like 2 things that we got to get to is the David Weiss that you're going to expose. And I don't know if we can get into that article by Patricia Steer. It does kind of cap everything that these people here are doing, that they're working towards, by ridiculing flat Earth, making it look crazy. If you want to take the screen share, brother, it'd be nice to get into some of that stuff.
hello to the chat. And yeah, so this is sort of funny. This is from David Weiss, deep inside the rabbit hole. And we've exposed for a long time, everyone, that the rabbit hole is a CIA term for leading a person in a disinformation, redirect. And David Weiss was an actual eyewitness testimony to the 9/11 hoax that took place. He was on radio shows and he shilled for 9/11. But he didn't stop there. So this is a video that I saw recently. Let me do a refresh on this. All right. So it's funny. This pinned comment, this video came out 2 days ago, I guess. This pinned comment, he said, sorry, had to correct a dumb typo and re-upload. So there's some sort of issue here. Still hoping Ronnie and his idiot sidekick call me out another fake sunset. So right away, he knew already that we were going to call him out for more fake footage. And of course, effed up world, we covered this earlier, those two are a riot. I think they both are CGI. And so I did respond. I told him, yes, we will be calling you out. And so here's his footage. Look at the quality of this footage right here. And so I'm just going to skip through it. He's got 4x speed. So here's something interesting. It says, sun faded out, number 3, live streamed July 8th. So this isn't the live stream footage, but you can tell that, obviously, because it's got the text that's been added and stuff in here. Look at the quality of this footage. So this is supposed to be drone footage. And so he's telling you with this text right now, this is the witchcraft. He says, it is the point where our angle of view is crossing too much atmosphere to see through it. He's telling you what's happening. He's telling you what's happening. Watch the sun fade into its thickness, right? So we're skipping through here. Says this can rarely, if ever, be seen from a ground viewing position. Yeah, no, it's so he's making it sound like because it's a drone. That's the capture of this, and so the AE map and model has the sun and moon doing circles 3,000 miles up, and so that requires the sun to shrink into a dot and fade away. So just gonna keep skipping through here. So he's got the shrinking sun, right? Shrinking, shrinking, shrinking. It's fading away, and it's gone. Here, let's watch this last little bit here. So that's supposed to be live footage. Live footage, people. Watch that again.
Oh, you don't have the times? Do you have the video in your editor that showed where he was, admitting that it was fake? Remember?
Yeah, we'll go through that. We'll go through that. I want to show.
Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. Did I see that squirrel? Darn ADD, right? I don't have ADD. ADD's a hoax, people.
And now he's telling you the sun is still there, but its throw of light can no longer push through the density of the air. Right? He's telling, here's the zoom out. So this is the repost here. Now notice here in the description, it says the live stream footage. We got the link here. And the 4K footage unedited. So when you live stream from a drone, I think your max resolution is going to be 720. But the drone itself, if it is 4K, it's going to have its own memory card. So it's going to be recording the footage, and then that can be uploaded later. So let's go to the live stream quick. And so this is supposedly the original live stream. Right away, Flat Earth and other hot potatoes is there. And out of this whole thing, what Pat was concerned about was seeing a black cat. CC, which is commonly known as 33 for Freemasonry, shows up. Wake Sheeple is there. Nathan Oakley says, awesomeness. So commented, now let's take this back here so that we can see the live chat. And so this is supposed to be a live stream. Now pay attention, listen to the noise that you hear in the background, people. I'm pretty sure that this is dubbed in noise and not the actual drone. Because he's saying that this is between 250 meters and 300 meters up. And I've got a drone, and you don't hear it when it's up that high. So he's got it up.
And the sun is just sitting there on the apparent horizon.
Listen to this. This gets...
So, well, pause it right there.
Horizon.
So at this point here, when he tells you the sun is just sitting there, he's actually froze the sun in the time lapse while the real sun sets, and he's going to slowly but surely decrease the size of his fake sun. People, he's telling you,
which is really the atmospheric deck.
Atmospheric deck. That's the atmospheric deck, people.
Wow.
Here.
It came down in the sky relatively quickly, but when it gets right to that horizon line, or that apparent horizon line, it just sits there. And goes into the distance. Now, yes, a solar filter would help determine the size, but this is not about determining the size. It's about watching it descend.
Well, we'll show some what it really looks like in reality, and we'll compare the two.
Slides.
Very little spraying, if any.
You have to continue to adjust your camera while the sun's moving.
Or very low humidity, so that allows us to see the sun farther, and the perspective drop literally stops.
Perspective drop literally stops. He's just making this stuff up.
Yep. Just look at it. It's clear that it's 93 million miles away. Makes sense.
This way.
Makes sense.
This way. He drops the bomb.
Sarcasm.
Speed it up.
I have a feeling when we zoom in on this one, it will show the sun again fading into the
Of course you have a feeling.
of the atmosphere.
Because you're going to fade.
Rather than setting. I believe I figured out a way to record in 4K. So I will put a link to that when I upload it, where we zoom in on the final moments of the sun.
We'll check that out too.
Tell me some more. Lie on, brother. It's absolutely what you're seeing.
If you have any questions you want to put in the chat, feel free.
Hey,
We just watch the sun
why are you
sit there on the horizon.
You can hear his
This
moving delay.
right here, what we're seeing right now, debunks the spinning ball. We are not falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound.
That was not real.
And the sun is just shrinking into the distance. By the way, I am totally photoshopping this live stream, faking yet another sunset.
What?
So now what you just saw right there, the sun has moved so far away that the angle from the drones...
And a cut. His voice changed at a non-human rate after he. Did you see that, everybody? This is how they work.
Listen to what he says. You can see the words on the screen. Whoop, why is it doing that?
And the sun is just shrinking into the distance. By the way, I am totally photoshopping this live stream, faking yet another sunset. So now what we just saw.
Yeah, he's such a shill, and his voice changes. The fact that he's not talking into an iPhone. What does he have? His mic outside with him?
I think he's got headphones on in this video, but you can clearly hear these audio changes where you hear that high-pitched whining noise, and then it cuts and it's different. It changes pitch and loudness. The number of
our controller doesn't make noises, and you can't hear the drone when it's 300 feet in the air.
Well, no, 300 meters. That's like 1,500 feet, right? Or close.
Yeah.
So yeah, he says right here he is photoshopping this live stream, faking yet another sunset. So that is one of his big things that he does is these fake sunset footage. He does a ton of it. So, at some point here, we're gonna get
the batteries.
The battery. And it's gonna come down. He's gonna bring it down.
Horizon, which is the horizon looks like it's kind of below your eye level.
He's telling you what to believe, what you're seeing, but it's
the horizon's not below.
Creates a horizon lower than your eye level. Just know that there's more land behind that rises up to your eye level.
So he's, he's dubbed that noise. He's put that noise in because he doesn't want you to know that he's talking on his studio mic, right? Just to dumb down the quality, because there is no noise when you're recording with a drone. The fireworks that you filmed, there was no noise live, and that's on my channel posted, right? So,
so he's gonna, coming down. So here he says he was at 300 meters, right? This is what he's telling you.
Ow.
Yeah, that really hurts the ears. He dubbed that in too. That's
it changes. Yeah, it's really bad.
So we're gonna get. Okay, so at this point here, pay attention, people. This is super important. I'm gonna bring the speed to 3/4, and I'm gonna go full screen here. And this is a live stream, right? He's saying that it's a live stream. Whoa, did you catch that, everyone? I'll back it up. We'll do it again. Listen to the battery tone and watch the cut. Such an obvious cut. I'm gonna take the volume down a little bit because that probably hurts people's ears. This is the black cat up here that Patricia was most concerned with.
Yeah, who would do that? Who would put a neon light neck collar on a cat? Like, you know, if he's trying to go out into nature, you know, all the other animals are going to see him coming. So right off the bat, and is that even good for a cat to be seeing that all the time? It just seems sick to me.
I don't know about that, but what I'm mostly concerned about here is he says that this is a live stream, and he's acting like he's doing a battery change here, and just watch what happens.
Landing.
All right, so let's go normal speed again.
Powering up.
Cool. So, change the battery, but the light. Oh.
It never went out.
Yeah, it says I'm live streaming, and then there was the cut jump again.
So, and if you show the chat, because if you go in, if he was to edit it and say that he went into the editor here on YouTube to cut that part out where it went dead, because you can't live stream from a drone if the drone's batteries are unplugged, people. He just said he was changing the batteries. This is all part of the live formance. We can call this a live formance. If you edit any part of the video out, the chat goes away. So the fact that he has the chat up and he has a clear and concise cut where you're definitely going to lose feed. As soon as you pull the battery out, you can't switch it without pulling you have to power down the drone, take the battery out, then you have to repower up the drone again. There's like 30 to 40 seconds of downtime. So what he's done is manipulated this footage and then he's gone live and hit play on a screen record. He didn't do this live.
Well, he did a live broadcast, but yeah, the footage that he's playing was not live. Was not done live. That was doctored.
Well, it's clear. If he cut out the part where the drone's camera went down, which unless he's a superhero that can change a battery in an infinitesimal, he changed the battery as fast as I could clap my hands. No.
As soon as you pull the battery out, the camera isn't going to be working. The camera never shut off.
So show it again, just so people can see. I just want to go over that one more time. And you know what? We'll even take the challenge. We'll do a live stream and we'll change the battery live tomorrow. How about that, Jay?
Sure.
During the daytime, we'll be flying somewhere and we'll do this. We'll show it live.
Landing.
What's going to happen to the camera when the battery goes out? Powering up.
Absolute mockery.
Absolute mockery.
Well, that's me.
Then he's going to say, it says I'm live streaming. It says I'm live streaming. Come on.
Says I'm live streaming.
Yeah, it's all dupe and delayed. He threw that in. This is where he has fun with being like NASA. That's what these guys do. Like Mr. Thrive and Survive today, putting out a thumbnail that had a check mark over the globe, and I'm not a flat earther anymore. That's the way these guys have fun. Jason and I don't tell lies ever. David Weiss, man.
So take a look at the chat, everyone. We got the Realm Walker. We got Bling Bling. These are teammates of a disinfo agent. And then the 4K unedited. Notice that this is unlisted. He doesn't just have this up on this channel. It's unlisted. Let's do a refresh, see how many views it's got. 38 total views. All right.
Wow. So, how many subs does this guy have?
Wow. 17,000.
Nobody went to look at the... Wow.
So this is the 4K unedited, right, from the drone. And when we go to quality here, what do we got? It's 1080. It's not 4K. It's not 4K. So this right here is supposedly the unedited 4K footage. And I'll just crank up the speed this. There's no audio to it. And let's get to where the sun disappears. He's got a shrinking sun. Shrinking, right? Shrinking, shrinking. Look at that. It's supposed to be unedited 4K.
Yeah, it's doctored, right? He just shrunk it out of existence. Like, he tells you, too, this is where the sun just stops on the horizon, right at the point in the editing where he froze the sun, people. And then all he did was drag he marked the outside of the sun and then slowly made it sink into a smaller circle. And he's put this back up, and he's saying this is unedited 4K footage, and it's 1080, right? And he's probably recorded this off of another recording so that when you take it into Photoshop, you can't see the edit, right? That's what I'm saying he's done.
Yeah, so I'm just going to open up the... I'm going to have to grab the library quick. Hear that? All right.
Yeah, that was close.
Here we go. And yeah, so I was thinking about making a video about what we're covering right now. Maybe I will still. So this is footage that I took with the drone. It's 1080. I've done a crop zoom on it.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you forgive me, but when you present this evidence, do you know that you're presenting evidence before all of heaven and all of earth to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, and to never lie? And if you do lie, you could be condemnable for all of the plagues and all of the the scriptures fallen on you.
I will take that oath. I will solemnly swear that I will accept all the blessings and all the curses of all the Holy Scripture for the evidence that I'm presenting right now. So.
Thank you. I just wanted to be clear because anyone that presents evidence, I'm going to ask them that same question.
Yeah, I want to. So this is cropped in, and we can recrop it, but I'm just going to reset it right now and show you what it looks like. This is right from the camera, so let's try to make this view a little bit bigger. Squash that over. So this is the backyard, and so I've got the drone up just above the treetops. So it starts out, I don't know, maybe 125 feet, somewhere in that range. And you can see, look at this is 1080, not even 4K. I'll do it in 4K, but you can see back here, you can see Austin's downtown area. You can see the high-rise buildings. And if I just hit play on this out of the editor, it's
nominated for Best Faked Footage to support a fake.
I'm gonna use that for Dave's footage.
Yeah.
So that sun goes down. It doesn't shrink in size. It goes down. I'm gonna just skip forward a little here. It's not shrinking in size. Just going down, just going down, going down. Going down. And once it disappears, I'm going to bring the drone up. I take the drone up, and I'm going to go up to like 1,600 feet. And, well, you're going to see we're going to see two sunsets. You can see the Austin skyline over here. There's the downtown area. So our circle of sight is expanding right now. The higher we go, the more circle of sight we're getting. And as we do that, we get the sun back. Full size. Not shrunken. Still climbing. Still climbing. Still climbing. There. I stopped it, and you get to watch it set again. And we can have all the fun. We can crop zoom in on this and get a better look at it. Let's go back to this earlier footage. So maybe right around here. So we'll crop, and we'll bring this in nice and tight. Oh. Doesn't like to give the corner. Keep in mind, people, this is only 1080. I got to do this in 4K now. I don't know why I didn't have it set to 4K. I guess recording time I was worried about. So now when I hit done here, boom. It's a little grainy now because it's only 1080 footage. But watch as it goes down. See, if I pause it, the rendering catches up. It's just because it's the preview of the editor. So I should probably make the video. Everybody, look at that. You can see that these trees right here, you know, are sort of near, and they have good color to them. But then look at this line back here. You can see the contour of the horizon back there, much more gray than this contour right here. But this is the ground, and the sun's going down full size. It's not shrinking, going away from you. That's not 3,000 miles high. It's not 3,000 miles high. The sun comes up at the ground, goes through cloud layers, and goes down to the ground and disappears at the ground. It doesn't circle above us 3,000 miles high. And another simple way to see this is just any footage. You can go to YouTube and incredible footage, sun in the clouds, not space. This is what we see. This is P900 footage. And compare this to the David Weiss footage and watch this.
Mind control programming that's inundating the population of the world. And I'm one of the individuals.
This footage right here absolutely debunks and smashes David Weiss inside the rabbit hole.
That's why
Did you see how it went through that layer of clouds?
A different perspective. Help you to see.
It goes down through the cloud layer
in a different perspective. That's why I do this.
You're gonna tell me that those clouds are 3,000 miles high?
Is there someone talking on that footage?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was saying that, you know, people have been mind controlled and programmed. The sun's not 93 million miles away, so he's saying the right things there. But watch the sunset, people. Does that look like it's above the clouds, circling and shrinking into a dot like David's footage?
This world is not moving. And it says the sun and the moon stopped moving in Joshua 10.
Yeah, he brought in scriptures. Does that look anything like David Weiss's footage? You saw it go through the cloud layer. Now it's going to go down to the ground, but it's not shrinking in size. Look at that.
God's word is true. All others are suspect.
Ah, he said God's word is true. All others is suspect. That's good stuff. So I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to cover, brother?
Yeah, I wanted to expose a little bit more. Show you guys just one last thing, I guess. PK was on Caravan to Midnight, which is, you know, one of the largest COINTEL CIA run FBI kind of fake radio stations. Now they were on this together years ago. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows PK, but I used to know him back in the day. Didn't like him, we never got along. I thought he was phony, but they were actually knighted. I don't know the exact part, but you know, they went over Boston bombing, and then during this hangout, this guy like knights them, the Caravan to Midnight guy. This isn't the end of it, but it was really interesting. You know, I'll put the chat. And so, you know, if people don't know that David Weiss, and he's been known to be an agent and a shill for a long time. You know, there's so many, it's just unbelievable. But yeah, brother, I enjoyed tonight. As always, I'm thankful that we get to spend this time together, brother, going over things that are truth and not truth, right? Looking at the going-ons.
Well, we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing all along, and that is exposing lies and deception and researching, digging, trying to find what the truth is about everything and sharing it for free with everyone with no agenda other than we just love truth and hate lies, and we look forward to the return of our Savior, Yahawashi. I can't wait for this world to burn and be destroyed.
Me too. I'm ready for his world, but I'm patient. I'm going to do the best to call out lies and deception until I'm not here. So again, super thankful to everyone on the other side of the screen. Do your own research, investigate everything. And Jason and I are both here. We're always easy to get a hold of. AWAKEEPLE@gmail.com. You can message me, sign up with me on Zoom. Jason, if you want to give them your email address. Constantly, if you guys want to talk, let us know. We're always available when we don't. We're here for you. We're not like these big channels they're here to make money. We're here for actual truth interactions, right? So God bless you all.
Yeah, it's awakesouls@gmail. And we like to do call-ins too. So we have a number that you can call in. Probably Friday night we'll take calls again, and would like to hear what people have to say about the stuff that we're covering now. So it's a nice anonymous way for people to call in and say what they got to say. We prefer people that, you know, are convicted by their truths to the level that, you know, they're willing to show their face, go on camera and stand up for what they believe in. But we do take live call-ins, and we've had some great calls. So look forward to seeing you all Friday night, and thanks for joining us tonight.